Hey there, everyone. This is Certified High Performance Coach Michelle Weimer here with you today. Thank you for joining me for Wednesday Wisdom. And today we are diving into our series on influence, on leading others and being influential. And you know what? During this time when things are so uncertain in our world and fear is high and worry is high and people are struggling, it's so important, maybe now more than ever, but I mean, I think it's important all the time, but it's so important that we are showing up fully and that we're leading and guiding people to be okay, to be positive, to feel safe and secure. And so, that's really what I want to talk about today. And I saw a quote recently, and it said, "Don't adapt to the energy in the room, influence the energy in the room." And I thought, wow, you know what? That's perfect because the energy in the room right now can be really strained and really stressed and very negative, especially if you are, you're out of your element, you're home, maybe you're dealing with the loss of your job, or you have, your spouse and your kids in the home, and, the tension's a little bit high. I mean, things are different for everyone. And so the energy in the room can be stressed and strained. And so for us to step up and be leaders, it's our job to influence the energy in the room, to adapt to it, not to fall into the negative energy, not to fall into the worry and the fear, but to influence it in the way that we want it to go and the way that we want our energy and our focus and our beliefs to grow. So think for a second about someone in your life who was highly influential to you. How did they influence you? Did they teach you how to think a certain way or to have certain beliefs? Did they teach you how to act in certain ways and to handle things? Did they challenge you to be the best version of yourself? Did they challenge you to grow? Did they role model the way for you? These three concepts, teaching people how to think a certain way, challenging them to grow, and role modeling the way, these are three main ways that we can influence others. And so today in particularly, I want to talk about teaching people how to think differently, right? Because this is our opportunity right now, as I was saying, to change the energy in the room, to change the way people are thinking. I realize and I get that there's some very difficult times ahead of us all. And many people are worried about not only their physical health, but their economic health and well-being. And it's a very emotional time for many people, can be very fearful. But we have a choice, right? Like we have a choice about how we're going to think, how we're going to show up and handle the situation. We can't always control the situation around us. We never have been able to, really, right? And here's a way to change perspective right here. You can worry about what you can't control, or you can take care and be empowered and take charge of the things you can control, which is you, yourself, your way of thinking, and how you're showing up. And when we can do that in the room we're in, which is probably our homes right now, but for many, the extension of that room is maybe doing Zoom calls with our staff or our employees or our clients, whatever the case. Like, it's in our home personally with our families, it's professionally, it's maybe with our friends and family that we're connecting with on Zoom. Or whatever way, Facebook Live, any other way that you are connected with people, Google Hangouts, whatever. Like, show up and guide others. Be an influence by what you're saying, your perspective that you're giving, how you're talking, how you're speaking. Get people to think in a way that is helpful. Get them to think positively. Get them to feel empowered by thinking about the fact that, hey, you know what? We can't control the situation, but we can control how we show up. We have a choice here. We have a choice to influence the energy in the room. And get them to think about that, because there's benefit in that. And the whole idea about getting people to think a certain way is about the benefit that that brings. When we get people to think differently about, for example, again, the example of this current situation that we're all facing, when we can get people to think differently, to think in a positive way, to think in an empowered way, we change things. We change the benefit of their lives, or we change, we can be a benefit to their lives by changing that way of thinking. Does it change the situation? Not necessarily, but by changing the way we think, that benefits us. And it benefits us in many ways. And us, I say us, them, whoever it is you're influencing, but we're benefiting people by teaching them to perceive this situation in a different way, to show up in a different way, to be empowered, to be positive, to look for how they can grow in this time, to level up their skills and prepare for the future that's ahead, whatever that future is. And that's another different, like, for example, a different way of thinking. We realize that right now is very uncertain and our future is very uncertain, but you know what? The reality is life has always been uncertain. There's never been a guarantee, but yet we've always planned for our future. We've always set goals and learned skills and had, built our knowledge in preparation for the future that we wanted to create. So now it's no different, you guys. In getting people to think about that, to think differently, and to recognize that even though the future is uncertain, it always has been. So our job is not to worry about that. Our job is to step up now, to be really present, and to think a certain way now that's going to benefit us in the future. And let me tell you what, thinking, screw this, I give up, I'm going to sit on the couch and watch Netflix for the next 2 months because I don't know what to do with myself, that's not going to benefit your future. So how do you want to guide people to think? Get them thinking about how they can benefit their future. What new skill do they want to learn or need to learn? What can they be doing right now that's going to help them grow? What can they be doing right now to be the best version of themselves in this moment? Getting people to think differently about this situation is going to benefit everyone. It's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit them. And as a whole, our world is going to end up better if we can all lead and guide in a positive way. So I want to really challenge you to start having conversations with people. Decide for yourself, what would people need to think or believe in order to handle this situation better? How can you guide them? And then start having those conversations. Start talking. Start leading. Start influencing the people that matter to you in a positive way, whether it's, again, in your personal life, your professional life, your kids, your spouse, your family, your friends, your colleagues, the team that you lead, or your employees, your staff that you work with, your own customers and clients. Step up and lead, and do it with full integrity, knowing that what you're trying to do is help people to think in a way that's going to benefit them to have a better life. So that's my challenge to you. And you know what? If you are loving this conversation and you want to talk some more about it, or you want to learn more about it, along with learning how you can show up and be your best, because part of leading is being that example and that role model, and which we'll be talking about in a couple of weeks. But I want to encourage you to sign up for the Thrive training that I did last week. You can go to michelleweimer.com/thrive-now. I'll put that link in with today's video, but I dive deeper into this along with many other concepts that are going to help you be the best version of yourself so that you can then lead others to do the same. So until next week, thank you for joining me, and goodbye for now.